What we are celebrating here. Birthday cookies will be served for our… And all my birthday buddies, Kulwant Kaur, Harisimran Kaur, and Avnish Kaur. Can I believe that? This is August. And lot 1, 2, 3. Same day. I don't know whether you have known or not, there is going to be a seminar, Body, Mind and Heart. I wish and pray that all you can attend. It's Saturday, whole day, isn't it? What time it starts? 9 a.m. Dr. Suram will speak. Dr. Deepak Chopra will speak. Dr. Kapoor will speak. Yogi Bahan will speak. And who else is? Dr. Bernie Siegel will speak. Who else we got? Why don't you come here, tell? You have been going to speech class now. Come on, talk. Take this there. Sit down. And tell them what we have been emphasizing.
Dr. Kapoor has organized a seminar this Saturday down in Anaheim at the Marriott, Anaheim, California, near Disneyland. And the Marriott Hotel, 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock at night. Lunch is being served. I think dinner's on your own. At 9 o'clock, Dr. Kapoor is speaking. 10 o'clock, Candace Pert, who is the PhD lady who discovered endorphins. At 11, Dr. Deepak Chopra. Lunch till 2. I speak from 2 to 3. 3 to 4. At 3:30 to 4:30 is Dr. Bernie Siegel, who many of you I'm sure have heard of as well. And 4:30 to 5:30 is Dr. Carl Simonton. Then there's dinner, and at 7 p.m. the Siri Singh Sahib will speak and give a meditation. And after the Siri Singh Sahib, there, I believe, are 2 more yogis who are teaching different aspects of yoga. So it's all day. The price is, I believe, $220. And if you come in a group of 5 people, it's $99 a piece.
That's the commercial. This was the commercial, folks. I don't think you can get them all under one roof. We have been trying to… This is a gold coin, wow. All gold coins will go on the pathway of the temple of steel, on which you and your people will walk. That's what… Now we have quite a big collection, no problem. The idea is from the entrance onto the Guru's podium, the entire path will lay down with the gold coins of the kings and queens' heads, so you can walk over. Once they walk over you, big deal. And now you should. Problem is not your success or your failure. Problem is law of sense of equality. You don't obey that. And human has always refused that law, that any progression or progress have equal depression and rejection. This law cannot change, this is there. And most successful people and most great people on this earth who have achieved success, in the end have gone and have failed in certain other aspect of life. So life balances itself that way. And some people are, you see them very rich and very effective and absolutely great. But on the other hand, you will find them totally nuts. It's not that you are not aware of it. Even in your life, you will progress on one side very effectively and loses on the other side equally effectively. There's nothing in this planet which is not in balance. So, question is not who you are. Question is whatever your karma is. You are gay, you are a lesbian, you are straight, you are hetero, hectro, pectro, whatever. You are mentally this, you are emotionally this, you are sexually this, you are that. I don't know who you are. That makes no difference to me. The pair of opposite will not affect only those who have gone beyond their mind. So long you are within the realm of mind, action and reaction will affect you. Doesn't matter which religion you belong to or which personality you belong to. You have actually, technically speaking, lot of gimmicks, progressions and process in which you approach yourself, to tie yourself, to standardize yourself, to save yourself, but you cannot do that. And you cannot effectively understand this information either. This thing is mostly upsetting to all of us. How can so long, how can you have a question, how can not thou, where is your thou if you have a I? And between your two eyes, if there's no third eye, how can you? And this is very progressive process of life in which you cannot be reached. And ultimately, there shall be emptiness, there shall be regret, there shall be unaccomplished life. Because there's nothing more precious and pious and pure than the prana which you got. And the use of prana is not that you become a professionally successful neurosurgeon, or you become a professionally great attorney, or you professionally become a great government official, or you did some great research. That's not life. Or you become very successful and popular. That's not life either. The purpose of life is, did you understand you within you? Did somebody tell you that you are you and you alone? Did somebody tell you that in the beginning is you, in the middle is you, and in the end is you? Your emotions, your feeling, your understanding, your desires are not you? Did you ever understood that what you need to do and what you want to do are two different things? But do you understand your own enemy? You need to do something different, you desire to do something different, you have to do something different. So these are fundamental questions which come in our way, and everybody interprets it to its advantage. And the worst guilty of this interpretation is the judgmental religious policy. So, there are Catholics, there are Protestants, there are this and this, there are Buddhists, and Buddhists have different factions, and in every religion you find factions. Because a man doesn't want to be judged. You don't want to be judged. You don't want to be told. So bunch of people don't like something, so they form their group. Since time immemorial to this time, humanity has progressed itself that way. I was reading that article, it was on the gay situation. It said they have a definite discovery about difference in the brain, in the neuron itself. Okay, tomorrow you're going to find out something else. But what is a gay? What's a lesbian? It's all sexual thing. Are you going to brand a human on a sexual basis? Then tomorrow you're going to brand everybody on the basis of the nose, wide nose, thin nose, skinny nose, top nose, round nose. Up to what extent you can divide humanity? On what one basis? What are your bases? So long your bases are karma, actions, desires, common needs, you are not discussing humanity. You are not in touch with humanity. You are too low, small, limited, empty, judgmental section of people. And you cannot understand the vastness of infinity, purity, piety, excellence, growth, grace. You do not understand joy of virtue. You do not understand spiritual venture. You understand only you, yourself. That may be desirable to many of you, and there are many teachers for this, or preachers, whatever you want to call them. But that's not the relationship between student and a teacher. That's the most unfortunate thing. When a student and teacher meets, it creates a spark, like chisel and stone meets. That's the meeting. A relationship between a student and teacher is not a truthful relationship if he says, "Oh, you are beautiful." How many times the chisel hits the stone and says, kisses it? Have you seen that? No, it goes tick and cuts the chip from here, chip there, till finally it comes to a shape of something. It is the shaping of the human. It's not the human. And only, when they cut things in the industrial world, they use diamond head because it is hardest. And that's why industrial diamond is very important. Piece of carbon, crystallized well, is hardest. But modern world today is not subjective to itself. Today we do not acknowledge that I am aware, I am known within my knowledge, my spirit, my soul, my mind and myself. I have all the virtues and I am daily losing those virtues rather than I am just being those virtues. Today, if somebody meditates about in the morning, Amrutial hours, gets up. Somebody was telling me that day, from last 40 days, she said, now this quote unquote, I have got up every early morning, I have taken cold shower, and I have meditated, and I have read Banis from last 40 days. I cracked up. And she said, isn't something great? I said, from last 40,000 lives you have meditated. For last 40,000 lives you have virtues yourself. and for last 40,000 lives you have been egomaniac, and you are stupid, and you are the most acknowledged idiot in the realm of consciousness. And you are a dead rat. Why you are so angry? I say, I am angry because for God's sake, look into yourself. Look, these 40 days have made you so happy because your soul has become habitual to all these thousands of years. But unfortunately, you are always, after now your 40 days, you are going to go off, right? Am I right? She said, I was just asking you. Is not that enough? I said, I already know what you're asking me for. That's your problem. God giveth soul to chance and experience, a human experience, and human experience has not to be foggy. It has to be clear like crystal. It has to be discipline like death. It has to be life like an infinity. And there's nothing less than that. And I said, I know you. You can't handle it. You can't hold it. You have never done it, you're not going to do it. You are my teacher, tell me. I said, I'm not anybody's teacher, what should I tell you? I'm telling you on your face, this you have been doing all along. You have never gone out of this circle service that you cannot understand. Soul is infinity. Character is infinity. Commitment is infinity. Divinity is infinity. Dignity is infinity. Everything is infinity. Grace is infinity. Power to sacrifice is infinity. Happiness is infinity. Those are the 7 steps to happiness. Nobody can change that. I can't. Nobody can. Why to waste human life? Can you get it? Can you buy it? You can buy services. Human services you can buy. Human life you can't buy. I said, in all these 1995 years, you have not understood the difference between a human service and human life. You have not understood the difference between humanity and individual existence. You have never understood your total reality, your applied consciousness, and your own understanding. Then how can you not understand yourself and you want to understand everybody else? Do you know, once I said many times, I have seen that one pamphlet in which there were a lot of workshops. And I counted, I just went through 275 therapies for human consciousness to grow. And I looked at that brochure, I said, all these people do not know what consciousness is. And these are the teachers of consciousness. I go Santa Fe, I talk to some people, there's a group of people, they are angelic people. And their language when they speak to me, and in the end I say, which book, which page you are talking about? There's nothing real. They satisfy with words, they satisfy with... And I used to deal with this group, this descendant master or ascendant master, something like that. And there's a Mount Shasta. I once took a trouble going there. I didn't see nothing but stones. I couldn't, I don't know from where they come in and they see it, but you will see tens and thousands of people are there looking at those descendant, whatever those masters are. It's tragic. I'm Christian. I follow Christ. Christ follows his own consciousness. Christ didn't follow anything else. You damn fellows don't follow him at all. Why? Where he said, follow me? Where Guru Nanak said, follow me? Where Buddha said, follow me? All they said is, your life is given by God to you and this is the way to live. This is the way to believe. Christianity is a religion of love. How many crusades you have done? Muslim is supposed to be humble. How many they have killed? Think about it. Think about it when two nations fight, and they are fighting now, everybody knows. What are they fighting for? They're fighting for land. They are not fighting for any principle. And similarly, in you, you are fighting for land. You are fighting for territory. Who decides the territory in you? Your ego. Who decides your comfort? I was going through Beverly Hills. There is a man just like me with a big white beard, and he had a big kind of turban-like hat over him, and he had all the baggage on his back, and he was walking. That's it. And I was going in my limousine. I was walking. And I looked at myself and looked at him. Then I asked a question, what's the difference? 25 years ago I came also much worse than him. Why he has not progressed? Because he did not, have not, and will not share himself with others. When a human does not share with others, human hurts. It's not that I didn't hurt. I told certain things and certain principles. I got totally trashed. It's not hurt. But I had to stand the grounds. Truth is truth. I don't care what anybody... You know, Kundalini Yoga, when I started teaching, whole Theosophical Society was very important in America, and they have books and books out that this one science cannot be, it's dangerous, cannot be taught. Period. And they ask me, why you are teaching this? I say, I don't know anything else. What should I do? Fact is, I don't know. I don't want to be ridiculously rude to anybody, but that's the only science I know. And that's the only thing I know works. No. Start with Hatha Yoga. I say, that's the biggest bull I've ever heard. Why should I start with Hatha Yoga? Everybody does sex in this country, everybody is sex. Everybody's penis is not Venus, everybody's running into each other like a fire pipe, you know, you run into this pipe, that hole. I say, I've seen, I landed in Hollywood, I don't think any relationship is a relationship. Everybody is sexual. Now what do you mean? I say, what I mean, nothing. First of the thing in Hatha Yoga is you should be celibate. Where I should get celibacy here? Material is not available, raw material is not available. There's nobody who's celibate. And why should I teach Hatha Yoga where is the requirement is the celibate? And where did I have 22 years to give you one posture? And who's there to do it? I say, I'm not going to be commercial. I know Kundalini Yoga, 3 minutes, you are out, done. And then you can go and sleep with your girlfriend or friends or do whatever you want to do, is fine. I say, you guys don't eat onion. We start with onions. Don't you understand? Garlic is no. They can eat fish. They can eat meat, they can't eat garlic. Isn't more ridiculous than hypocrisy than that? Garlic, no. Fish, yes. Can you believe it? And you know how terrible fish is? There's nothing more poisonous to body than fish. It comes from water, it goes into the colon, it needs water instead of, it dries up the colon water. There's only one food, fish, which dries up the colon water. It reverses the colon water. It's amazing. You take the fish, you chop it, you fry it, you do anything to it. All right? And just see how thirsty you become when you eat it. It always needs water. And when you cannot give it a water, it reverses the colon. It reverses the only food which reverses the colon. I say you allow that to eat, and that is tolerable. Garlic is not. Onion is not. Ginger, which licks up the entire poison and disease out of the body, that's not. Well, I said, I can't go with you guys. You can. It's dangerous. Eating bananas is dangerous. What is the difference? You have to understand that everybody has to be initiated. I say, what for? If they are idiots, they can initiate themselves. Am I a fool to initiate them? Why I should take the risk? Why should I even initiate anybody who's worth initiating? Let everybody initiate themselves. Because I believe in the beginning is me, in the middle is me, in the end is me, for my own inner soul. That's the only relationship between you and God is when you, for your soul, experience within you your own infinity. And don't brand it for any reason. Gringos cannot sit with blacks, blacks cannot sit with this and that, brown, this. You know, you have decided humanity on grey, brown, black, white. Just on the skin of the color. Thank God the skin of the blood is the same. Then you divided everything on your desires, on your emotions, on your feelings, on your needs, on your geography, on your culture, on your nature, on your philosophies. You have never understood there is one God, there is Ek, one God, and He created the creation, and every creature is the product of that one Creator. If you just understand that, you will grow. And your human life depends upon two things. Your hypothalamus, which is on the upper palate, and your upper front, called frontal lobe. This controls your personality. This is medically known. This controls your personality, and this hypothalamus controls your habits, automatic habits. Automatic habits surpasses all intellect thoughts. Now let me tell you scientifically where is the problem. We have 100,000 thoughts per wink of the eye. Somewhere thalamus has the problem. Hypothalamus and thalamus, when they act in coordination, they have the power over thought formation. And the frontal lobe has a personality direction. Once the personality direction, you try to understand, doesn't matter who tells you what you're going to do, what you're going to do. Because that means your front lobe is not developed, is not yours. There are only two areas of the body which are not developed. They are there to be developed. This whole yoga is about it. You don't understand. Entire spirituality is about it. Entire spirituality is the pain of the opposite should not affect you. When somebody praises you, you should not get pumped up. And when somebody insults you, you do not squeeze in. You remain you. That is human. So I promise you, today is my last class with you. And then Saturday I have to teach that seminar, uplifting the mental graduation. That's my topic. And they'll be all professional. If you all come, it will be a good class. That's the only possible class I can attend or share with you. Then I have to go Sunday back home and get ready to go on this yatra to India. In 525 years, once they have called on us, and we all are obligated to go. Those who believe, those who don't believe, those who love me, those who hate me, those who are my friends, those who are my enemies, I have nothing to do with it. It is just answering the call. And if you do not know what Golden Temple is, well, it is a Golden Temple. That's it. It has no other name. And it's the only temple which is a Golden Temple. I don't have any damn definition more than that. Some people ask me, why you love this temple? I say, I am very selfish. I love gold. It's a Golden Temple. What should I do? Love graveyards? It's good. It's golden, it's miracle, it's prosperous. Still 10,000 people are fed every day, everybody is welcome. It's marvelous. So why not to like something which is good and great? It's my definition, not anybody's. And that's what I say. And 5,000 years ago and till today, everybody who has gone there with prayer and taken a sip and dip in that water tank, his things have been answered. Why to go and do the research when it's already established? And this is what we are doing. We are taking yoga students, we are taking these Sikhs, we are taking those who have faith, atheists, everybody. Come. And I have to go. And you have to go too. I tell you, the reason you can't go, you don't have time. Number two, you have money. Economically, you are terribly busy. You don't have time. And thirdly, it's waste of time, it's a hardship, it's very difficult. When I was young, I was sitting one day with my teacher, he told me, what's the purpose of life? When we asked questions like this class was, we were so many, he said, what is the purpose of life? Somebody said to elevate, somebody said to exalt, somebody said to this, that. It went on and on. Finally he got tired. He said, can anybody tell me what is the purpose of life? And I smiled. He said, well, you mischievous smiler, why don't you answer? I said, well, haven't they all answered you? Is that not enough? He said, no. I said, purpose of life is very simple. When there's nothing impossible in life. Because when the soul and consciousness is understood, impossible is eliminated out of the life. That's the purpose of life. He said, when did you learn that? I said, 3 days ago you were lecturing, that's what you said. I remember. I just remembered it. Nobody said to me. You said life is only possible and impossible. Once the Atma and Paramatma merges together, impossible doesn't exist. You know your words? I'm repeating it. He said, that's true. I said, that's it. So long anything is impossible in your life, You do not have a consciousness of infinity. Because how can anything be limited? How can love be limited? How can God be limited? How can life be limited? An impossible means limited. You don't understand what I'm saying, I know. Okay, we'll not stretch it more, because you will go home confused. For you, everything is limited. If it's not, then you make it limited. You put everything in boxes. You brand everything. But that's why we want to get rid of it. All right? We are doing Ravi Mudra today, Sun Mudra. Sun Mudra is the ring finger, and we did the exercise yesterday, left and right. Correct? With the breath. Okay, today we'll do with a snake breath. Snake breath means cobra breath. Cobra breath means when you go up like this, then you inhale. And when you come down, you exhale like you exhale really good. That will create a vacuum, and that will move the hypothalamus and frontal lobe into the rotatory system. And that breath will also take this first, second ring in the little, that stem of the brain, which controls the entire geography of your being, and you will have a very different experience. You understand what I'm saying? But the question is doing it right, all right? Sun Mudra is this finger, and you sit like this. We are going to play a tape, and we'll asking you today to close your eyes exactly and sit like you are perfect. First of all, fake it, you are perfect. You are not, I know, you know, and we know. But in spite of that, faking it is all right. Fake it, you are perfect. And when it says Satnam, then you go all the way up and breathe in. And when tape says Vaheguru, it will say twice. It gives you, it's a very rhythmic. This mantra is rhythmic. Then you come down and your breath will come. That hiss of the snake will come, and while breathing out. And you create on every strike little vacuum, and that will change entire grey matter and neurological balance. And it will bring you to the freshness which you never have experienced. Is that understood? As a science? It's not that you have to do it only with me. Today you might not perfectly do it. You may try to do it at home. But you got to do it. One lady was telling me one day, a year ago, I have menopause. Should I take estrogen? I said, take anything you want. I'm not going to give you anything against medical advice. I already told somebody, eat beets, and I end up with a lawsuit which went years and years. Beet, we call it beet case. Finally we beat it up, but God, it was a very lengthy case. Attorney after attorney, my insurance was tired. He said, what's this beet case? He said, well, this is it. Somebody's suing me. You got to deal with it. So I have gone through it. Once I told people to eat some pancakes, and I got a notice from this bureau of whatever that is, that I'm practicing medicine without license. I couldn't believe it. I had to send my attorney there to talk to them. And all they wanted is the pancakes, where they can get it. So we got them prepared and delivered them. That was the case. That's all it was the case. But somebody took the guts to ask us to be here. How can this flu can be healed, and why I said in the class and blah, blah, blah. And it was just pancakes, no big deal. All right. Ramesh, you have been very kind to me in last 25 years, that's what I'm trying to remember. And I've gone through it. All right? Close your eyes, please. And just understand the beauty is in that hiss, nothing else. Play.
Satnam, Satnam, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Satnam, Satnam, Vaheguru.
You are very good, go ahead.
Satnam, Satnam, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Satnam, Satnam, Vaheguru, Vaheguru.
Through the nose.
Satnam, Satnam, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Satnam, Satnam, Vaheguru, Vaheguru,
Use the power.
सतनाम सतनाम वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु 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 सतनाम सतनाम वाहेगुरु
Squeeze the body from spine to top. Exhale. Inhale deep. Let every fiber be by your own nerve control. Squeeze. Partahar Shunya. Bring it to minimum 0. Exhale. Once again, to cover all the 2 mistakes, if there is any, breathe, 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 and now go ahead. Squeeze, 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 relax. One with the breath we do, with that we hit the pituitary and frontal lobe. I'm just trying to explain you the science of it. And secondly, when we go by chanting, with the tip of the tongue, we stimulate the upper palate, and that stimulates the hypothalamus. Simple. Third part and fourth part of this, when I come next time, we'll complete it. What I'm trying to do is put 2 kriyas in one day, and that should be sufficient. So we did it yesterday and we did it today. And when next time I come, we'll do the third. Third is very rough. It's really, half of you will do, half you won't. So, but question is to teach, share with you. We'll share. And till such time at home, it takes 11 minutes what you did first time and 11 minutes the second. And what the other set we did yesterday was also based on that. So it's not, and tape is very rhythmic, time is very perfect, sound is very good, word is very perfect, tongue touches the meridians properly, all scientifically well done. It's up to you. I can't do your kriyas, and you didn't did mine, so there's nothing to say anything. But somewhere along the line, so long life is based on karma, there will be pain. And there will be equal insanity with equal progress. But once you do dharma, then karma will not affect. Then hand of God will work. When the unseen hand of God will start working for you, your hand will only meant for prayer. Up to that time, it's begging, it is not prayer. Help me, Lord, save me, Lord, do my Lord. That's ridiculous. You remember that story of a candle? You know that? There was a church, priest was very poor, and town was very big. And priest thought, what should I tell these people? I mean, they're not doing anything. They don't come on Sunday, they don't come for prayer, they don't come do anything. He got very upset. So there was a town gathering in which they asked the priest to come and speak. And he said, I don't want to say anything here. I want to speak to you in the house of Lord. If you come this Sunday, I'll tell you the greatest secret of this town. And don't come thereafter, but please come once. So that Sunday, almost everybody came to the church. The church was overloaded and full. And he said, there's no much secret anymore, but I have to say, I was very hesitant to say that. You don't come and light the candle. So it's a hand of devil which is playing, and it's a level of the devil which is creating all this, and there's a darkness in every life, and it's very sad. It's very sad, it's very sad. But if you could have come and just lit a candle, you could have lit your life, you could have done it. But I don't want to say it because none of you come to the church and none of you believe in it. And church is dark, like you. What to say? I'm in pain and I'm very worried about you, that's why I've said it. I didn't say it there because I didn't want to say it there. I thought you should come to your own church because this is what you have built. And I want to tell you that. You can't lit a candle, you can't lit a candle. Everybody looked at each other and they said, what we are doing, I mean, it's not something we are born to do. So one person got up, he picked up a candle, and it was written, donation, 1 penny, whatever the rate was. So he put the penny in, took the candle and lit it. The others saw that, That person did the same. Third did, fourth did. The whole town lit the candle and church looked good. All lit. And the wax has the essence in it, some herbs in it, and that created a beautiful flavor. And people were very happy. And went home and they were just feeling very happy. Thank God we lit the candle. Every day the candles were lit, it never stopped. And church donations becoming fat and fat. So one day he invited the entire town for the feast. He said, rich will feed the poor and poor will feed the rich. Nobody understood. He said, what is talking about? Poor feed the rich and rich will feed the poor. This doesn't mean right. Let's go see what it is. And he said, folks, God has provided all what God could provide and you will eat. It's in the will of God. So there was a great feast he prepared and whole town got fed. So naturally people have some feeling when they left. Somebody left a pound, somebody left 2, somebody left 5, somebody left that. Then he got more money. More money he got, more money he spent, more money he gave, more money he got. And it continued. It becomes a common lot. Just same thing. You do not consciously breathe, that's a dead candle. When you consciously breathe, that's a lit candle. And that brings you virtues, when you consciously breathe. When you unconsciously breathe, that is unlit candle. That's darkness, that's waste of the prana. The most precious thing, which you can't get one prana after it's gone. But once you consciously breathe, that is the use of prana. That is the light, that is the candle you have lit before the altar of God. That's your being. I hope you understand these things. And get out of your rut and routine and route and come to understanding with your Creator. I don't think you as creature understand that you have to come in terms with your Creator. Your ego has blinded you to the point you do not even know who you are. As you do fashion and you cater and you care for all these worldly things, if you would have cared that much or 1/10 of that much for your Creator who created you, you would not have to hustle. You would not be harassed. Just remember, when the unseen hand of the God works, only then the hand in prayer goes from the heart. Otherwise, when you pray in pain, you're caught and all that. That's asking for something. You are born to give something. You are human, you are light. But you are not, your head is not lit. You don't make sense. Your head is into many variances, very much duality. You have not found the sense of unisonness. So hopefully by the time I come and see you all next, you will practice this as a matter of routine, as a matter of self-discipline, as a matter of self-involvement into self-enlightenment. I hope that. Meanwhile, happy birthday to all those who are born in August. Is that what you are doing en bloc? All right, sing. so and so. There are so many of them. All August Virgos and many more, right? And then May. All Let your soul find the trust. Let your trust find the unisonness of faith. Let your faith find the love. Let your love find the infinity. Let your infinity gift you totality, reality, prosperity, beauty, bounty, and bliss. Let your life become light. Let life and light merge forever in oneness of the Lord Creator for every creature on this earth. Satnam. All right, now let the cookies be served and everybody relax and enjoy and be happy. Come on, Virgo.